For INFJs, being liked feels safe, but being respected feels free. So why does freedom feel so dangerous for us? Because the moment we stop seeking approval, we risk losing connection, and connection is our oxygen. But what if seeking to be liked keeps us small, and being respected finally lets us breathe? You ever notice how some people glide through life being effortlessly liked? The ones everyone invites, everyone texts back, everyone smiles at in the hallway? Sure, they've mastered social feng shui, just enough charm, never too much truth. Meanwhile, the INFJ brain is over here asking, do they like me? And do I even like me while they like me? It's exhausting. That's because for INFJs, being liked feels safe, but being respected feels free. Free sounds great, but safe sounds easier. Until safety becomes a cage made of approval. Wow, you really woke up and chose therapy today. I'm just saying, and the need to be liked is the emotional sugar high of the INFJ world. Feels good for a moment, then crashes your authenticity. Okay, fine, let's unpack this sugar high. Why do we crave being liked so badly? Because our extroverted feeling, phi, is wired for harmony. It tells us connection equals safety. When someone disapproves, our nervous system treats it like danger. That actually tracks. Rejection hits my chest like I just got a bad grade in empathy class. Exactly. The amygdala, our threat detector, doesn't know the difference between a lion and a cold shoulder. Same circuitry. So when someone seems upset with me, I don't just notice it, I absorb it. I'll replay every word of the conversation like an emotional CSI episode. Classic INFJ, overanalysis disguised as compassion. You say that like it's a bad thing. It's not bad until it becomes self-erasure. You start editing yourself for approval. You trade truth for temporary peace. Ouch, that hits deeper than I expected. Welcome to INFJ group therapy, population us. All right, Mrs. Icewater, tell me, what's the actual cost of being liked? Peace without authenticity. You end up the human version of ambient music, soothing, forgettable, and playing in the background of everyone else's life. That's rude, but accurate. You laugh, but it's true. When we people please, we trigger dopamine, the short-term reward chemical. But self-respect releases serotonin, the long-term calm. So dopamine is the yay, they like me chemical, and serotonin is I can sleep at night. Precisely. Being liked is temporary validation. Being respected is long-term regulation. And you can't get both all the time. Not if you're honest. There it is, the INFJ curse. Our empathy gives us backstage passes to everyone's emotions, but it charges a toll. We lose sight of our own. And then one day someone says, you've changed, and you realize, no, I just stopped performing. That's deep and also terrifying. Growth usually is. You know what's strange? The more we talk about this, the more it feels like the INFJ's constant balancing act, keeping peace on the outside while chaos brews on the inside. That's not strange, that's textbook. You're describing what Carl Jung would have called living through the persona. The persona? Yep. The mask we wear to survive in society. Jung said it's not fake, it's functional. But when you start believing the mask is you, that's when things get messy. Because we read the room too well. We mirror everyone's energy so naturally, it stops feeling like performance. It just feels like survival. Right, Jung warned that if we identify too much with that mask, we lose touch with our true self. Our instincts, our individuality, our inner truth, which means being liked keeps the persona alive, but being respected keeps the self alive. That's so true. It's like when I chase approval, I'm feeding my mask. When I choose respect, I'm feeding my soul. Exactly. Jung called that process individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming whole instead of well-behaved. So in a way, INFJs seeking respect aren't just setting boundaries, they're evolving. Graduating from emotional school with honors and authenticity, ha ha ha, finally, a diploma that means something. So we've unpacked the theory, now comes the practice. How do you shift from feeding the mask to feeding the self? That's where it gets tricky, because when you stop performing, you realize how many of your relationships were built on the act, not the actor. Exactly, and that's where respect begins, and when you choose truth over applause. So let's say I'm done chasing likes. What does being respected actually look like for an INFJ? It's when your boundaries speak louder than your apologies. That sounds like a line from a self-help book I'd highlight and then ignore. Try living it instead. Respect starts when your energy stops auditioning. You make it sound simple. It's not, because for INFJs, respect means letting go of control, especially over how people see us. And that's our addiction, isn't it? Emotional management, making sure everyone's okay, even if it costs us our peace, right? We've mistaken peacekeeping for love. Wow. So being respected means accepting that some people won't like me, and that's not failure, that's filtering. Exactly. Boundaries are not walls, they're clarity. They teach others how to approach your depth without drowning in it. You really want me to believe that saying no can build connection? If it's honest, yes. No is how you make room for yes that means something. Okay, give me the science behind this before my people pleaser brain argues back. When you people please, your brain floods with cortisol and dopamine, stress and reward, chaos and candy. When you act with integrity, your prefrontal cortex activates, boosting coherence and lowering amygdala reactivity. So authenticity literally calms the brain. Exactly. Being respected regulates your nervous system. Being liked overstimulates it. So we've been chasing peace in all the noisy places. Pretty much. Respect lives in silence. That's poetic. You should write that down. Already did. It's on my emotional boundary chart. Of course, you have a chart. All right, Mrs. Data, what's the practical roadmap for INFJs who want to stop being nice and start being real? Step 1, the pause before pleasing. Ask, is this kindness or compliance? Ooh, that one hurts a little. Step 2, redefine connection. You don't need agreement to have alignment, meaning I don't have to twist myself into a pretzel for harmony. Exactly. Harmony built on self-erasure isn't peace, it's performance art. And step 3, micro boundaries. Small truths said early prevent explosions later. That's so true. I've avoided so many small no's that I ended up having to do a massive door slam. The INFJ classic. You teach people for years how to treat you, and when you finally stop the lesson, they call it betrayal. It's almost funny, almost. Ha, we can laugh about it now, that's progress. So you're saying the real goal isn't being liked or respected. It's being self-led. Exactly. Respect isn't external approval, it's internal alignment that others sense and respond to. You know, I used to think being liked was my love language. Turns out it was my coping mechanism. Mine was pretending I didn't care about being liked. Denial is also a coping mechanism. So we were both coping, just in different fonts. Exactly, INFJ bold versus INFJ italic. Well, at least we're stylishly self-aware now. That's step 1 of INFJ recovery, knowing your trauma but making it aesthetic. And step 2, turning that self-awareness into boundaries that feel like peace, not punishment. Peace that doesn't need permission. I like that. Respect that doesn't require validation. Okay, that line needs to be on a mug. Already designed it, coming soon to the INFJ merch store. Of course you did. You know what I've realized through all this? I don't want to be liked if I have to vanish to earn it. That's the line right there. Because being liked is fragile. One disagreement and it's gone. But respect survives honesty. And honesty is how INFJs finally stop editing their existence. Exactly. Liking asks, will you fit in? Respect asks, will you stand up? And standing up is scary, but staying small hurts worse. So stand up quietly. Power doesn't need volume. You know what I've realized through all this? I don't want to be liked if I have to vanish to earn it. That's the line right there. Because being liked is fragile. One disagreement and it's gone. But respect survives honesty. And honesty is how INFJs finally stop editing their existence. Exactly. Liking asks, will you fit in? Respect asks, will you stand up? And standing up is scary, but staying small hurts worse. So stand up quietly. Power doesn't need volume. You know, I used to chase connection to feel whole. Now I protect my wholeness and let connection meet me there. That's the evolution. For INFJs, being liked feels safe, but being respected feels free. And I've decided I'd rather be free. Then you're finally seeing yourself clearly, maybe for the first time. Then say it out loud. I'd rather be respected than liked. Good, now live it. And maybe teach it too. Already are. To everyone watching, protect your depth, speak your truth, and stop shrinking to fit small rooms. And if this hit home, share it with another INFJ who's still apologizing for their strength. And grab Inside the Mind of an INFJ, available now on Amazon. Because knowledge is power, but self-respect, that's liberation. I'm Bliss. I'm Ice. And this is your reminder, stop chasing approval, start commanding respect.